Hello everyone, my name is Brian, but you can call me the Bugler, and today we're going to be talking about the Gunslinger subclass and the skill tree, the way of the Sharpshooter. Let's get into it. First off, we have the skill Knife Juggler. This replaces your melee with a throwing knife. When you get precision kills with this throwing knife, it immediately resets the cooldown. Next up is Practice Makes Perfect. This skill makes it so when you hit enemies with precision shots, it reduces the cooldown of your super. This one's very exciting and I can't wait to get into it. And finally, we have two super modifiers. First is Crowd Pleaser. This enables precision damage with your golden gun and also grants orbs of light on precision hits. And the final skill is Line 'em Up. This makes it so precision hits with the golden gun increase its overall damage, as well as extend the duration. This can stack, and we'll get into those exact numbers when the time comes. But let's start with Knife Juggler. In this gauntlet, you're going to see all the damage numbers that are relevant to the throwing knife. First, a precision hit deals 614 damage, or 2.6 times the amount of a normal melee attack. If you score precision hits with the knife, it instantly resets your cooldown, allowing you to throw it an infinite amount of times, provided you score those headshots. A throwing knife also deals the same amount as a regular melee attack if you hit them in the body, at 236 damage to these enemies. I discovered something strange while testing this ability too. If you look at the screen, you'll see that I dealt 472 damage to this enemy instead of the normal 236. This is exactly double, and it appears as though there's a critical modifier if you hit an enemy in the head with your melee ability. I tested this multiple times on each character and found that it's possible to do on every single one. The only problem is, it's actually pretty finicky to get to work. Let's take a closer look at that. I'm going to slow this down so you can see exactly where my reticle is when I press the melee button. Sometimes it's on their head, sometimes it isn't. The problem is, the knife automatically snaps to the center of their body, so the best way I found to replicate this was making a short little jump before I pressed the melee button. You can do this with every single class, and here's a short clip of me doing it with a Titan as well so you can see. The only problem is that it's extremely finicky, so good luck getting it to work when you want it to. Now on to Practice Makes Perfect. This skill makes it so scoring precision hits reduces the cooldown of your super. This isn't entirely accurate, but first let's talk about the base cooldown of the Golden Gun super. Golden Gun takes about 6 minutes and 40 seconds to recharge, provided you're not killing any enemies. Now this is important because the description of Practice Makes Perfect is actually a little misleading. It doesn't quite reduce the cooldown of your super as much as it does increase the rate in which your super cools down. That's an important distinction, and in this next clip, I'll explain why. Practice Makes Perfect activates on critical hits, not critical kills, and it stacks up to 3 times. What this stack does is increase the rate in which your super cools down. So right now, I'm burning off my golden gun so I can completely start from scratch and allow my super to actually recharge naturally, without getting any kills. We've manipulated the modular mind in a way that allows me to continuously shoot him in the head without having to worry about missing. Ironically, this skill works best when using an auto rifle or weapon with a high magazine count, because the time in which Practice Makes Perfect can stay active between headshots is very small. It only lasts about 2 seconds between hits, so if you don't score a hit every 2 seconds, Practice Makes Perfect's effects will wear off, which you will see right now. I don't even have time to switch to my heavy weapon before the effects reset. And because the modular mind was a little uncooperative, I couldn't keep the 3 stack at 100% active for the entire cooldown. But I don't think you're going to see this skill utilized to this effect during normal gameplay. By the time my cooldown is up, 2 minutes and 40 seconds have passed in this situation. That puts it at 2.5 times faster than the normal cooldown rate. But because of my short downtime during the actual testing, I could place the cooldown rate at between 2.5 and 3 times faster than the normal cooldown rate. This is quite significant, and although you won't see it utilized to this degree in normal gameplay, it's still a useful skill to have, and it helps with that lengthy cooldown. Now onto the super modifiers, Crowd Pleaser and Line 'em Up. We're going to talk about these two skills together because they're very closely intertwined. One doesn't work without the other, and they both benefit from each other significantly. Let's get started. We're going to look at the base duration of the golden gun, so we have something to compare the increase that we get when we score headshots due to the skill Line 'em Up. Golden gun lasts for 12 seconds and neither increases or decreases in rate depending on how many bullets are left during normal circumstances. Due to Line 'em Up, when you score a headshot, the duration in which the golden gun lasts increases quite a bit. Let's take a look at those numbers now. For each critical hit that you land, you will gain a 50% extra duration to your super, which means that if you shoot both shots and they're both critical hits directly at the beginning of your golden gun, the maximum amount of time that you can have afterwards is 23 seconds. And that's because it takes almost a full second to get off both shots. So you don't see that extra 100% increase to duration that you would from the time that it took you to fire those shots. Moving right along, we're going to take a look at the base damage of the golden gun against the modular mind, so we can compare it to the precision damage that we would do thanks to the first skill, Crowd Pleaser, and the second skill, which increases our damage, Line 'em Up. We deal 897 damage to the modular mind, regardless of where we shoot them. The head or the body, it's all the same. But in this clip here, you'll see where those two skills really kick in. The first headshot deals exactly double the base, at 1,794. Each subsequent headshot will increase in damage, thanks to Line 'em Up. So our second headshot deals 2,196, or 2.4 times the base, and our third headshot will deal 2,597 damage, or about 2.9 times the base. This brings our total damage to 6,587, or about 2.5 times the total base damage you could do with body shots. This increased damage doesn't only apply to headshots, however. If you score a headshot, the next body shot will also deal increased damage, at 1.2 times the base, or 1,098 damage in this case. It also does not end your chain, so your next headshot will equal the same damage as the second headshot in the initial chain. Now on to our final topic, and that's how many orbs you gain on critical hits thanks to the skill Crowd Pleaser. This is very simple. You gain 2 orbs on critical hits regardless of the enemy type. It could be a red bar enemy, a yellow bar enemy, or a boss. You gain 2 orbs. The best thing about this skill though is you can use it to circumvent the normal 7 orb limit. You get 8 orbs provided you kill those 3 enemies. And that's the end of this breakdown. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about how I conducted the tests, or why I may or may not have included something, let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to set your mind at ease. The next video I make is going to be a complete Gunslinger Breakdown. In that video, I'm going to cover the grenades that the Gunslinger has access to, which super from which tree deals more damage to the modular mind, and which tree I recommend you use for which activities. You can look forward to that video over the next couple of days, hopefully by Thursday. So once again, thanks for watching, I hope I see you next time, and good luck getting through the exclusion zone.